27 of the top 30 crime-ridden cities in America ran by Democrats.
Yep.
If they are all about blacks, why are their policies ruining great communities?
Question for you. Pull it back up.
Yeah.
What's the root cause of it?
What is it?
No, I'm asking you. No. You raise it up. No. You said 27 of the top 30 crime-ridden cities.
You're the expert.
No. Here's the deal, though. If you're
I'll read the article for you. Pull it up.
If you're going to ask the question, what I need you to do is I need you to then go, okay, what actually, looking at those communities, what actually happened in those areas? You brought up Chicago. Lived there 6 years. What is it?
You tell us.
No. See, here's the deal, though. This is
I'm giving up statistics.
No, you're giving stats.
This is 27 out of 30, which you like. You like stats and facts.
I'm giving you stats, but here's
nothing
the deal.
about what I said is not a fact. I'll read it to you.
But here's the failure.
As of June 22nd,
Right.
Okay, go to the top. I'll read the entire article for you.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to.
That's what you're asking me.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
A new report shows that Democrat policies in cities and counties are responsible for rising crime rates in their otherwise red states.
What are the policies?
The Heritage Foundation today. Whatever the policies are is Democratic policies.
No. What are the policies?
Whatever the policies are, I don't need to know the policies.
Yes, you do.
No, I do not.
Crime, in my opinion, has nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do with Democrats, Republicans, none of that stuff. It really doesn't. But let's keep going.
I don't need to know the policies. All I need to know is if you.
So you're saying Democratic policies, but what are the policies?
But wait a minute. If I give you and I vote for you, and you're supposed to take care of me, why are 27 out of top 30 cities in American crime ran by Democrats? Why?
First, I will tell you. First of all, it's where African Americans are living. So let's bring up Chicago in particular. What you have had in Chicago is you have had some of the greatest racial segregation, not in 20 years, not in 30 years, but literally in 100 plus years.
Led by Democrats.
No, hold on. Here's the deal, though. Okay, I will show you how Mississippi has the largest percentage of black people in America, run by Republicans, broke as hell. Explain that. Explain me the highest. Tell me when you have. Hold on. Wait.
Don't spin.
No, I'm not spinning.
No, don't change.
No. What I'm
Let's
showing
stay
you.
on topic.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
Let's stay on topic.
We're
the
on
topic is crime 27 out of 30, not economic. Economic is a different story.
No, it's not.
But I agree with you that we need to get the financial situation.
No. And you're making the mistake.
You went to Mississippi. No, you're.
Pretty much they're arguing that economics has something to do with crime rate. So the lower the financial for certain demographics, well, the higher the crime rate would be. But I'm here to debunk that because that could be farther for the truth. People want to lie to themselves. That's the reason why there's crime in certain neighborhoods, but it really has nothing to do with whether it's Democratic Party, Republican Party, who the president is, what policies are out there. Nothing to do with that. But let's just finish with this little section here.
You're making the mistake.
Here's the mistake you're making.
27 out of 30.
Here's the mistake you're making. When you say crime, I just obliterated a black conservative on my show on this whole issue. When you say crime, you have to then say, okay, what creates crime? No, what creates crime? What creates crime?
When people are not doing well financially.
What else?
Roland Martin is trying to really make this about some magical thing that he wants to get deep into what creates crime when it's so simple. I'm actually having a hard time understanding why people doesn't quickly realize what the real issue is when it comes to crime. But let's see what Patrick with David had to say, though.
Your surrounding and environment, who you're around.
No, what else?
Pick up habits.
What else?
Bad policies.
No. What else? See, you're jumping to policies.
But it is bad policies. Wait a minute.
No.
If I lead a company,
Roland, the underpinning. Hold on, wait.
If I run a company and I'm the CEO of the company, if the company improves or doesn't improve is based on my policies. I'm the head running the company, the department. If it doesn't improve, it's because of me. What else would it be?
So let me lay it out to you again.
Go for it.
When you talk about what is the underpinning of crime, John Hope Bryant, founder of Operation Hope, this is what he said. He said, show me a community where you've seen a riot with a credit score of 700 or higher. The reality is, when you talk about crime in this country, you're talking about economics, you're talking about education, you're talking about housing.
Let me stop right there because I don't need to listen to more, really. I know where he's going with it. So here's the issue. Roland Martin is, I see where he's coming from, right? You have a community where a credit score is 700 or higher. What does that mean for most people out there? That whoever lives in that community is probably very well off. Good jobs, good education, good housing. But whose fault is that? It's very simple, right? People want to live in communities like that because they want to be safe. They want to have their children going to good schools. They want to be nearby parks, hospitals. There's really nothing too complicated about that. But then the idea is that neighborhoods with low credit scores, most likely that's where the crime is going to be. How does that have anything to do with whether you are a Democrat or Republican? It really, the reason why this is a conversation in the United States is because in the United States we have such a variety of ethnicities, races. You got people from all over the world. And then you could separate and say, see, this happened over here for this reason, this happened over here for that reason. But the reality is, crime happens because people have very poor education, and that has nothing to do with the government. Two kids go to the same school. One simply has very bad parenting, the other one doesn't. So these kids end up being a thief, the other one end up being a lawyer, and they both went to the same school. They both had access to the same school. The difference is, at home, one just had a terrible family that could give two shit about their kid. And then that kid was also exposed to drugs, alcohol, arguments in the family, fighting. That kid was most likely seeing people not going to work, quitting their jobs, right? So when you expose a kid to something like that, then obviously, what are the chances that that kid is going to have a great life as an adult, right? Probably a 50% chance at best. Now, if you take race out of the equation, right, forget black and white, none of this nonsense. Let's say you take myself, a country in Cuba, right? I was born in Cuba, and everybody in Cuba, it's the same. There's nothing less black, white. It has nothing to do with that. You have a doctor that's white making less money than a black person that's cleaning the floor, or a taxi driver, right? You could have a person that's a taxi driver is black, and you could have a doctor that's white, and the taxi driver makes 10 times more money. He has a house 10 times bigger than the white doctor. And then when they both meet in the neighborhood, it's the black guy that's a taxi driver. It just have way of a nicer life than the white doctor, and they live on the same street, right? So this is when races really have no merits. It doesn't matter. You can talk about it all day long. It doesn't matter. So, but then in Cuba, just like in the United States, there's issues with, there's certain neighborhoods where, unfortunately, people, that live there, whether they're black or white, they just, and by neighborhoods, I don't mean like an entire municipality. I mean like one street down there and another street over there. You could tell, sometimes people are just bad. And it didn't matter. And I remember growing up, my grandparents used to say, that kid that you're hanging out with, he's trouble. I don't want you to hang out. And then I would say, no, he's my friend. I want to hang out with my friend. But then my grandparents knew. They knew that the kid was trouble because he lives in an environment where there's always issues. Where they have drunk parents, people that, were known from stealing from the neighbors. So you don't want your kid hanging out with someone like that, right? With another kid. The other kid, poor soul, he was just a kid. But when you as an adult know what the parents are like, then you don't want your kid to hang out with that other kid, right? So that was the thing. So, and it didn't matter what color of skin you had. It was simply a matter of, you know, sometimes the same way that rich people attract each other, the same way I want to hang out with people that have a good job or a good credit score. It's not because they have a good job or a good credit score. It's simply that I associate myself with someone like that because those are people with good manners, respectful, that you could have a good conversation with them and not end up arguing and screaming and getting drunk. You say you have a party and you invite people over, but they're not bringing drugs and marijuana, and they don't getting drunk to the point where people are fighting and passing out on the floor. We just, it's just different. That's the kind of people I want to hang out with. Whether you're black or white, it doesn't matter to me, but that's the kind of people I want to hang out with. I don't want to hang out with somebody that is doing drugs outside their house or reeks of marijuana. That's not the kind of person I want to hang out with, right? And it's not because I feel like I'm better than that person. It's just that's not something I want to do. I don't care if you're black or white. It doesn't matter to me. I want to hang out in areas where it's clean, it's quiet, where people are respectful. The last time I went to Cuba to visit my family, I brought my daughter with me. My daughter is only 11 now. She was 9 when that happened. And I remember taking him to this park. And this park is in a place by, a regular community where Cuban people go to, not tourists, just Cuban people go to this park. And it was like a small amusement park. They had like a little roller coaster and merry-go-round and all these little, and of course, I exposed my daughter that I regret somewhat exposing her to. There were a lot of people in there that clearly had very poor manners, and they were always jumping the line, and then we'll leave a guy here, and then they'll go around and get on the thing, and then they'll come back, and the guy would say, "No, I was in line." I'm like, "Yeah, but you were with them." And then they'll jump the line again, and they'll do this all over and over. Meanwhile, there's some other kids waiting, and it really pisses me off. It pissed me off badly, and I said, "You know what? I had enough. You guys are not doing this again. I'm gonna stand here. I'm gonna go next, because I've been waiting here with my daughter." And it was just one of those things where all the people that were there, a good amount of them, were like, I don't know. It was like I felt like if I ever, like I said to one of my friends, later on that night, I say, if I ever start coming to Cuba, it's not going to be because of the communist government or anything like that. And by going to Cuba, I mean to visit my family, because I still have family in Cuba. But it was going to be simply because of the people themselves. Because it seemed to me like there's a lot of people in Cuba with bad education, with bad manners. For as good of a reputation that Cuban people have, trust me, Cuban people have horrible manners. Horrible manners. There's such a lack of home-based education. I don't mean education from school, I mean at home. It's quite terrible, But again, see, that has nothing to do with being black or being white. I'm speaking about a country where everybody's considered equal for the most part. And that's still a problem. That still happens. So crime will happen regardless, because that's just the way people are. There's people that are just bad. And obviously those are people that make a lot of terrible decisions in life. And little by little, they end up in the poorest neighborhoods, in the worst neighborhoods. And sometimes you don't even need to be a criminal for that. Sometimes you have good people from a good heart. They're just stupid, like, for lack of better words. Because I met someone like that. I met someone that had a house, and he would sell that house and move to something smaller, and he sold that house again and moved to something smaller, and eventually he ended up in something you couldn't even call it a mobile home. It was less than a mobile home. I don't even know what the proper word for that is, but it was the size of like 100 square feet bedroom pretty much. And then he had no money, right? So you have people like that never harm anyone, but are not smart enough to know what to do with their money. And obviously that house, he inherited that house. He never worked for it. The parents left the house for him after they passed away. So see, you have situations like that too. But for the most part, are bad people that make stupid decisions in life. They do drugs, they get into accidents, they get into DUIs, they get caught while driving intoxicated, they get into fights, they get caught stealing something. So those people, unfortunately, they themselves are ruining their life. They're ruining their life. So why am I to be blamed for not wanting to live nearby someone like that? I don't want anybody like that near me. I don't want anybody like that near my children. People that I know had been caught from stealing, from doing drugs, prostitution. I don't want anything like that near my children. So of course I'm going to move to the neighborhoods where the most people have 700 plus credit score, good homes, good hospitals. That's the life I want. That's the life I want to try to have. I don't want to live in the bad neighborhoods, whatever that means. But I don't want to live in neighborhoods where there's crime, and it's the people. The people are causing that crime themselves by making stupid decisions over and over and over. And eventually, well, guess what? They don't have a good job. They don't have a good education. So they cannot afford to live in the good neighborhoods. And that's just the way life is. There's nothing wrong with that, because no one forced you to do those things. You did it to yourself. And that's just the way it is.